About the only smart guy that I know, bro. Nobody knows shit about boxing.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah,
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
yeah. The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I got to sound off on this because my man JK13, shout out to him. He was holding me accountable. He said, True School, why aren't you doing videos about Zhang and Wilder? So here's my thoughts on Zhang and Wilder, because it was a fight that really and truthfully was very interesting to a lot of boxing fans. You know, Deontay Wilder has been the only good American heavyweight for the last like 10 years. And I know people will say, well, BT's not even good, but that man is the only person that's kept U.S. heavyweight boxing somewhat relevant all these years, you know? So he does deserve respect in that regard. But he was facing another big puncher in Zhang. We know Zhilei Zhang. You know what he does? He puts people in body bags. We saw it with Joe Joyce. We've seen it with a lot of people he's fought. And this fight was no different. There's not even a ton to dissect because Wilder looked like a complete shell of himself. Gone is the guy that was the vicious, gunslinging, one-punch knockout artist. I don't know what he's doing now. I mean, I don't want to be overly critical, but like Malik Scott's try to make him too textbook, and in making him too textbook, and that coupled with age and just wear and tear from these wars with Fury taking a lot out of him, all these things have played a factor as into why he hasn't looked that great, you know. And so Zhang caught him. I mean, Wilder came in, Zhang caught him with a step back, was a check right, it was like a right hook counter, and he didn't even catch him on the face, he caught him on the nose, but that punch was heavy enough to actually go ahead and just buzz Wilder. And Wilder literally spun around and looked at the ref, and by the time he looked back, he had a big old left hand upside his head, and that was all she wrote for the Bronze Bomber. So Zhang gets another impactful, meaningful stoppage victory. And the you know, Zhang is not a spring chicken. Zhang is not young, but Zhang continues to put like the finishing touches on what I think is becoming he's becoming one of the most important heavyweights of our era, of this era, because this is a guy that turned pro later than he wanted to. Then he couldn't get fights because he was high risk, low reward. Gets the Hrgovic fight, performs very well against Hrgovic, and then, you know, doesn't get the decision, much to the dismay of many people. I thought he lost, but it was a close fight. It could have went either way. If he would have won, he would have more than deserved it. But that didn't discourage him. Knocked out Joe Joyce 2 times when Joe Joyce's stock was at an all-time high. Even in a loss to Joseph Parker, dropped him, still showed he was dangerous. Now he knocks out one of the biggest names of our era. So Zhang, I think, has done enough to where, you know, he deserves to fight for the title. You know, he's not getting any younger. There's been a lot of talk about Anthony Joshua and who he should fight. I know, like, right now the talk is of Dubois, Joshua. But honestly, truthfully, Zhang deserves a Joshua fight. Zhang deserves a Joshua fight. Zhang deserves some sort of big fight. If he can't get the title fights, he deserves some sort of big payday fight, because this guy continues, win, lose, or draw, to deliver in impressive fashion. So you can't ask for much more than what Zhang is doing. And he's not just a knockout artist. I think people get him misconstrued. They say, oh, Zhang's just a big puncher. He's just this, he's just that. No, Zhang is so much more than a big puncher. Zhang literally is a one-punch counter-puncher. He's a one-punch counter-puncher, meaning that you make a mistake and he counters you, there's a big possibility he lands flush with all his leverage and all his shoulders snapping behind that punch. You're going to the emergency room, and that's a very dangerous man to beat, considering when he's a southpaw too, with the size, with the amateur experience he has. I mean, he brings a lot of things to the ring just beyond his power, and I wanted to highlight that. That's why Wilder got absolutely destroyed, you know. So we'll see how it goes. But for Zhang, I just want to see him get a big fight on a big stage and get a chance to show what he could do at the highest of levels, you know. So congrats to him. As far as Wilder, again, I just said this recently in the video, it's not really my position to tell someone who's been heavyweight champion of the world that he should retire. But what I can say about Wilder is when you factor in that this is a guy that lived and died by the sword. He lived and died by his punching power. And now, you know, yeah, his power is still there, but his defense is not there, and his recuperative powers are not there, and, you know, his legs aren't there, and you know, there's a lot of things going on outside the ring too that, you know, I'm not going to get into, but it's out there. You guys can research it yourself. If he's going to keep boxing, which, you know, personally, I don't think is a good idea, but if he's going to keep boxing, it's like, how is this all going to end? Like, who could he beat in the top 15? You know, the only fight I could see Wilder doing, if he really wants to stick around, is a Joshua fight. But let's be real. Like, Joshua's still, you know, pretty high up there. He's still getting better. He's still very good. Wilder, I think, has regressed as to where I feel Joshua has maybe he's progressed. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, that fight has a lot of history. If he wants to go that route, then fine. But I think time may have just ran its course with Wilder. But we'll see. Only he has the power to change the narrative, right? If he goes in the fight, goes into a Joshua fight or whoever he fights and knocks him out, then all of a sudden Wilder's back. That's how boxing is. So I wish him the best. You know, I've enjoyed his career. I've enjoyed covering all of his fights here on YouTube and stuff like that. But it just looks bad. He's doing spin moves like he's Karan Butler or LeBron James. Like, it's bad. It's bad out here for Wilder. So that's my thoughts on the fight. There's not a ton to dissect. The fight went like 6 rounds. Wilder was dangerous until he wasn't. He was dangerous when he was on the front foot leading and landing big shots. And then Zhang kind of with that big right hook counter upside the nose, and, you know, Wilder didn't respond too well. So it is what it is. You know, every dog has her day, and time runs its course on everything. So we'll see how it goes for Wilder, and we'll see how it goes for Zhang. I think Zhang is definitely doing a great job of putting his name in the hat and his team. I think, what is it, Terry Lane or Tommy Lane, Mills Lane's, I think, son, that helps run his career. They deserve a lot of credit for just keeping him active and putting him in against top competition and getting him ready for these fights. You know, they do. So, yeah. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterbury, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.